Good morning, everyone. My name is Adam Głuszuk. I am happy to see you all here at today's meeting. Today's webinar was postponed from Wednesday, the 10 o'clock. We had some technical problems, as you probably remember. Hopefully today everything will go smoothly. The webinar will take about 60 minutes. We will give you some information concerning the Black Sea Horizon project, and then the content of the meeting is mostly Marii Skłodowska key reactions and the EURAXESS portal and offices. If you would have any technical problems or comments to the slides, or if you would have any questions, please use the chat facility in the left lower corner. You can write your comments and you can write your questions there at any time. Today's presentation we are going to conduct in three. I mean, besides me, there are my two colleagues, Magdalena Chomicka and Monika Zaremba. Magdalena will give you the second part of the presentation concerning Marii Skłodowska key reactions, and Monika Zaremba will give you information concerning the EURAXESS. And thanks to the chat facility, if you will have any questions, we will answer them live. I mean, immediately during the slides. If there will be a lot of questions, we can also talk after the presentation. So my colleague is just here beside me, so she will answer your questions anytime you will have any questions. This meeting and this presentation is recorded. It will be later on put on the Black Sea Horizon project website, so you will be able to download the video and come back to all the information. Okay, if you do not like this, that the webinar is recorded, you simply you can just log out from the meeting, but hopefully all of you will agree to this, and the material, the video will be available later on. Okay, for now, to begin the presentation, I will give you first some information on Black Sea Horizon project. This project is funded under Horizon 2020 program. It's begun in February 2015, and it will last till January 2018. There are 19 organizations from 16 countries in the consortium of the project. The coordinator is Center for Social Innovation in Austria. These are the short names of all project partners. Here are some contacts and important addresses on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. If you would like to contact us, if you would like to visit the website of Black Sea Horizon project, please use these links. The key objectives of the project are to support the EU's external relations with the target region, meaning the Black Sea region, to stimulate bi-regional STI cooperation, and to contribute to the establishment of supportive framework conditions. There are specific objectives listed here at the slide, and the continuation. If you would like to come back, if you would need any more information about the Black Sea Horizon project, please contact us directly or visit the website. Right now, to start the part concerning Marii Skłodowska key reactions, again, three of us: Magdalena Chomicka, my colleague Monika Zaremba and me, Adam Guszuk, we will give you this presentation. First of all, Maria Skłodowska Curie Actions, this program is a part of Horizon 2020. It focuses on research, excellence, training, skills, and mobility. The program Maria Skłodowska Curie Actions is in the first priority of Horizon 2020 in the excellent science. The name of the program was taken from our famous Polish researcher Maria Skłodowska-Curie, who was born in 1867 in Warsaw. At the age of 24, she moved to Paris to continue her research. So she is an excellent example of a mobile researcher open to various disciplines. What are the Maria Skłodowska-Curie Actions objectives? First and the most general is to ensure optimum development and dynamic use of Europe's intellectual capital in order to generate new skills, knowledge and innovation. How the European Commission wants to do it? By the promotion of attractive working and employment conditions, thanks to the European Charter for Researchers and Code of Conduct for the recruitment of the researchers, very important document. Second, development of innovative training schemes, mainly for early stage researchers, PhD students, for example. And this is done by training on various research domains and on complementary skills, also conferences, webinars, and etc. Third, enhancement of academic and non-academic cooperation by employment and financing within the project, employment and secondment, joint research activities, and different various trainings. And the fourth, dissemination of research results and popularization of science, of research results, engagement in outreach activities. What are the key features of the program? All domains of research and innovation are financed under this program, from basic research up to market take-up and innovation services. The bottom-up approach, it means that the European Commission doesn't propose any topics, any subjects to fund in this year, for example, in this call for proposals, but it is the opposite way. All the applicants, the applying institutions, applying researchers, they decide what will be funded. This is the bottom up, so the ideas come from the bottom, from the researchers itself. Every researcher can submit proposal in every research area, and it will be funded by the European Commission if it will be evaluated as an excellent proposal. Also, besides the research, also the training and transfer of knowledge is financed in the Maria Skłodowska-Curie program. Who can take part, who can benefit from the program? Researchers of any nationality. In case of RISE projects, it might be staff members, researchers, managers, administrative and technical personnel supporting projects, research and innovation activities. As for the researchers, there are two categories of researchers: early stage researchers and experienced researchers. Later on the next slides, we will give you more information who is the early stage and who is an experienced researcher. Where the projects may be implemented: in all types of institutions from academic and non-academic sector, meaning universities, research institutes, but also companies, hospitals, NGOs, any foundations, etc. Countries, there are three categories of countries. Of course, EU member states, associated countries, associated to Horizon 2020, which are treated exactly the same as member states of the European Union, and third countries, meaning all other countries which are not member states and which are not associated to Horizon 2020. And there is a very important eligibility condition: it's international mobility. What is academic and non-academic sector? The academic sector are private or public higher education institutions awarding academic degrees, but also public and private non-profit research organizations, as well as international European interest organizations. Non-academic sector is all other institutions are non-academic sectors. Institutions from both academic and non-academic sector, they may be beneficiaries and partner organizations in the project. What are the differences? Beneficiaries sign the grant agreement with the European Commission. They are responsible for executing project activities and propose research and training program for the whole project. And beneficiaries employ researchers. Partner organizations do not sign the grant agreement with the European Commission. They are involved in trainings and secondments. The expenditure is covered by a beneficiary, not directly by the European Commission, and they must attach a letter of commitment to the proposal. Concerning researchers, as I mentioned, researchers of any nationality may be employed by the host institution in Marie Skłodowska-Curie project. The early stage researchers are those having less than 4 years of research experience and not holding PhD degree. Experienced researchers are those who have more than 4 years of research experience, or they have already a PhD degree. There are five Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions: individual fellowship, research and innovation staff exchange, RISE, ITN, Innovative Training Networks, co-funding regional, national and international program, and Researchers Night. We will give you some detailed information on each of them. The first, to the individual fellowship, the researchers apply directly to the European Commission. Researchers cooperating with chosen hosting institution in European Union or associated country. All other actions are for institutions. The institutions apply to the European Commission and then recruit researchers or second their staff. This is the budget of the calls for 2014-2020. There's more than 6 billion euro for the Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions. As you can see, ITN action has the biggest part of the budget. Each year, precisely one call for each Marie Skłodowska-Curie action is open. 1 year, every year, one action, one call. All the information, all the documents, online submission and results are available at the participant portal. So the participant portal, the portal of the European Commission, is one single entry place where you can find all the information and you submit proposal through that portal. There are 3 evaluation criteria for all actions, for all the projects: excellence, impact, and implementation. Now, to give you more information on each specific action, I will start with the innovative training networks. In 2017, the budget is 430 million euro. The opening was in September 2016, and the call was closed in 10th of January 2017. So it's already not available, but this year or at the beginning of the next year, we are expecting, as usually, the next call. The date has not been published yet. It's not official yet, therefore we cannot give you this information. But we are expecting, as I mentioned, at the end of 2017 or the beginning of 2018. The information will be at the participant portal, and of course we will give you at our webpage, national contact point kpk.gov.pl. We will give you also this information when the call will be opened. The key objectives of the ITN are to increase excellence and structure research and doctoral training in Europe, and to train a new generation of creative entrepreneurial and innovative early stage researchers. The scope is research and training projects, international, interdisciplinary, and intersectoral. Early stage researchers apply directly to the ongoing project. This is very important that the researchers do not submit any proposal to the open call. They do not submit a proposal to the European Commission, but they apply to the ongoing project. This is institutions and consortia who submit the proposal in the open call and submit their application to the European Commission. And later on, when receiving the funding, they can employ the early stage researchers. The expected impact is structured research and doctoral training in Europe, cooperation and exchange of best practice among participants, and enhancing researchers' employability and provide them with new research perspectives. So this is mainly for and only for the early stage researchers. What activities can be foreseen in these projects? Individual research project within the scope of the ITN, interdisciplinary, intersectoral training, summer school, etc. Also soft skills training, participation in external conferences, and secondments to other partners in academic and non-academic sector. Other activities may be scientific and administrative meetings, visits and secondments between partners, some trainings, conferences open also to participants from outside the project, and promoting and disseminating project results. In ITN, only early stage researchers can be recruited, meaning early stage researchers, as you remember, having not more than 4 years of research experience and without PhD degree. The research experience is counted as a full-time equivalent from the moment of gaining right to obtain PhD degree up to the moment of recruitment by the institution to the project. There's a very important mobility rule. The researchers must not have resided or carried out their main activities in the country of host organizations for more than 12 months in the 3 years immediately before the date of the recruitment. This is for everyone. This is a very, very important rule in the ITN. Next, main features of the ITN. The institutions are recruiting researchers of all nationalities. Selection of ESRs is based on an open and transparent competition, open to all the researchers from the whole world. Gender balance is expected. The employment is from 3 months up to 3 years. And during the employment, the secondments are possible. The employer provides mentoring with the personal career development plan of each early stage researcher. Some information concerning money, the budget. There is a salary for the recruited researchers, living allowance, mobility and family allowance, as well as institutional unit costs, meaning some money for research training and networking costs, and management and overhead. These are fixed amounts for in euro, of course. The numbers you can see in the table. These are fixed amounts for each person month. This is the salary of the researcher. These were the information about ITN, and now my colleague Magda Chomicka will give you more information on all other actions. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to continue with the rest of the actions within the Maria Skłodowska Curie program. My colleague has explained one of the possibilities for the early stage researchers, and I would like to start with a action foreseen for the experienced researcher. This action is called the individual fellowships. The budget for this year call is 248 million euro. The call will be opened on April 11 with the deadline on September 14th. What are the objectives of these actions? First and foremost, it's to enhance the creative and innovative potential of experienced researchers and to provide opportunities for them to acquire new knowledge, the opportunities to work on research projects in Europe or outside Europe, and, which is also very important, opportunities to work in different sectors, meaning the academic and the non-academic one. As for the scope, how it works, these are the individual transnational fellowships for the best and the promising researchers. They are carried out within two main groups, meaning the Global Fellowship or the European Fellowships. The European Fellowship includes three panels, but I will continue this information later on. Various activities might be implemented during the fellowships. Firstly, the research, but also the soft skills and research training. There is also an option of the secondment to another institution located in member state or associated country, and the secondment might be to an academic or non-academic institution. What is the expected impact of these fellowships? Firstly, to release the full potential of researchers and to foster their careers in both sectors, and also to strengthen the contact network of the researcher and the host institutions, which might later bring to submitting different proposals also to Horizon 2020 or to other funding schemes. I've mentioned that these fellowships may be carried out within two main schemes, the European Fellowship and the Global Fellowship. And then the European Fellowship is divided into four panels: the Standard European Fellowship, the Career Restart panel foreseen for researchers who have been inactive in research for more than 12 months prior to the deadline date, the Reintegration panel for the researcher coming from the third countries coming back to Europe, and Society and Enterprise panel, the panel that was introduced in 2016 call, and this is foreseen for beneficiaries coming from non-academic sectors. So exclusively for these beneficiaries, the new panel was set with a different a budget and a different ranking list. And on the other hand, the Global Fellowship, I will explain the details in the later slides. When it comes to the budget for this year call, 215 million euro was foreseen for the European Fellowships and 33 million euro for the Global Fellowships. So how it works. The European Fellowships, no matter the panel, it's the fellowships for minimum 12 and maximum 24 months, and it has to be carried out in an EU country or a country associated to Horizon 2020. So here are the place of the implementation. But when it comes to the origin of the researchers, they can come from many countries in the world, but from Europe and also from outside Europe. The thing is, they have to come to Europe to do their research and to carry out their grants. As for the Global Fellowships, there are two parts, two phases of the fellowship. First, which lasts not less than 1 year and not more than 2 years, is carried out in a third country outside of Europe. And the other phase, the second phase, is carried out within 12 months in Europe, meaning in a EU country or in an associated country. So that's how it works. We have third country, and in the third country, the first phase is carried out for 12 up to 24 months, and then there is a mandatory returning phase in Europe. What activities can be taken within this scholarship, and what is also important when when implementing the grant. What is important is firstly the international mobility and also the personal and career development, the enhancement of collaboration and transfer of knowledge. The research project should focus on innovation, and it's always highly welcome when it's interdisciplinary. The researchers, except for doing research, they also might participate in conferences where they can share the outcomes of their projects. But also they should plan some training activities. Firstly, the training through research and enhancing the research skills, but also the enhancing the so-called soft skills, so the complementary skills which are useful when doing the research, such as the project management, the grant application, the IPR management, gender issues, or other issues concerned with the proper project implementation. New knowledge and new skills might be also gained through intersectoral mobility, meaning moving in forms of short secondments from academic to non-academic sector, or from non-academic to academic. What is also important for Marii Skłodowska-Curie actions, for actually all of them, is the communication and dissemination of project results. Communication meaning showing the outcomes of the project to people who are not doing science, and the dissemination of people who are scientists, who might also benefit and also cooperate with you later in other projects. Communications, as I've mentioned, is connected with the popularization of science among the general public, so non-scientists. Who is supported? For this fellowship, only experienced researcher might apply. An experienced researcher must, at the call deadline, have a PhD degree or have at least 4 years of full-time equivalent research experience. And this full-time equivalent research experience is counted from the time when they've obtained the degree which entitled them to embark on a PhD program. When it comes to in European fellowships, a researcher of any nationality might apply, and from any countries, except for a reintegration panel. And there, just like in the global fellowships, firstly the nationals of EU and associated countries might apply, and also the so-called long-term residents, so people who have resided in Europe for more than 5 years. And again, the mobility rule applies as well, which is similar to the one presented in the ITN scheme, meaning the experienced researcher must have not resided or carried out the main activities such as study or work in the country of the host organization, or the country of the outgoing phase in case of global fellowship, for more than 12 months in the last 3 years, and this is counted immediately prior to the call deadline. But in the career restart, reintegration, and society and enterprise panel, the mobility rule is different, and it's counted for 3 years within the last 5 years prior to the call deadline. And how does it look like when it comes to the money? Again, the costs are divided into two main groups: researcher unit costs for a month, and institutional unit costs for a month of scholarship. The first group, living, mobility, and family allowances. These are the parts of the researcher remuneration, so the salary. And the other costs, institutional costs, research training, and networking. These are the costs that should enable you to carry out the planned activities, and also the management and indirect costs in order to implement the project properly. And again, as I mentioned, the first group, researcher unit costs, must be exclusively used for the experienced researcher, meaning that you have to receive all the money that have been planned in the budget. The first item, so living allowance, is marked here in red. because it needs to be corrected with the so-called country coefficient. This is the basic sum, and each country has its own correction coefficient. And for example, if you would like to do your research in Poland within this scheme, you will receive 76.4% of that amount. The other unit costs are not subject to this country coefficient. As already mentioned, the forthcoming call will be open in April with the deadline in September at 5 p.m. Central European Time, and you have to really pay attention to this timing. It's not only the date, it's not the midnight, but it's strictly 5 p.m. and after that time the system closes and you will not be able to submit your proposal even like a few seconds after that. You have to submit your proposal in cooperation with a chosen host institution, either in a EU member state or in an associated country. And you submit the proposals electronically. That means no paperwork, no signatures, and no sending money by post. You have to keep in mind that the proposal consists of two parts. First one, the so-called part A, is these are the administrative forms and they are filled in online. And the part B, the second part, which consists the research and training content, and it is prepared offline and then submitted online within the system. And you have to keep in mind that only the supervisor is entitled to click submit button. You can do it yourself as well, but you have to be somehow entitled to do so if you're an individual researcher. If you'd like to see all the submission information and see the submission service, you can go to participant portal. You can only, at this time, you can only see the previous call because the documents for the upcoming call will be uploaded to the system after the call opens. So how it works, you have to go to participant portal. You have to put the name into any search engine in the website, such as Google, for example, and because there is no one simple link to this portal, then you have to click on funding opportunities and then follow with Maria Skłodowska key reactions and then individual fellowships. And now I'd like to tell you a few words about the other action, which is called the Research and Innovation Staff Exchange. The budget for this year call is 80 million euro. The call was open on the 1st of December last year, and the deadline is April 5th this year. So there's still some time to submit the proposal. So how it works. The objective of RISE scheme is to promote international and intersectoral collaboration through research and innovation of staff exchanges, and to develop common culture of research and innovation. You have to transfer the knowledge and share your ideas internationally and intersectorally. You have to prepare and submit a common research and innovation project and involve into the project highly skilled research and innovation staff at your home institutions. Having done that and having carried out the project, what is expected from you? The impact is to strengthen the interaction between organizations in an academic and non-academic sectors, and also between Europe and third countries. And how it works, the project lasts up to 4 years, and the consortium that you need to build in order to apply and then to carry out is the minimum eligibility conditions are the 3 participants from 3 different countries, and at least two of them need to be countries located in member state or associated countries. The project is carried out in forms of secondments of staff members from one organizations to the partner organizations. The duration of such secondments is the minimum 1 month, and for the maximum of 12 months for a single staff member. The secondments need to be internationals, meaning if you in your consortium have an entity coming from the same countries. So there are two entities coming from one country. The secondment between those entities is not eligible. What else is not eligible? The secondment between institutions located outside Europe or within the same member states, an associated country. Meaning if you have the country, for example, in the US or Canada, the secondments between these two countries are not eligible. But what is eligible within Europe? The secondments between different sectors. So if you have an entity coming from academic sector and the other one from non-academic, the staff exchange between these two institutions is eligible. As for the money and as for the researchers, it's again calculated based on the researcher months, and the maximum researcher months that you can plan is 540 for the whole project. Partners from other third countries, including the USA, so partners from the countries which are not eligible for Horizon 2020 funding should envisage their own budget for their seconded staff members. When coming from these countries, you need to check in participant portals whether your countries, whether your granting institutions provide such funding for these kind of projects. Which is what is also very important as for seconding your own staff members. These people need to be engaged in the research and innovation activities at your institutions for at least 6 months prior to the first secondment. So if you have a new employee and you would like to second him right after he starts his employment or her employment contract, it's not eligible. So this has to be people who are somehow linked to your institution already. So how it works, we can have people, or we can have partners from academia and non-academia, from member states and associated countries and third countries. This is a kind of short summary of what I've said before. So what is eligible for funding? As you can see, the secondments from Europe to third countries are eligible no matter the sector. The secondments in Europe are only eligible when it comes to in entities coming from two different sectors. When we have two entities coming from academia, these secondments will not be eligible for funding within the project. How it works when it comes to the budget. Again, two types of costs: staff member unit costs and institutional costs. And in staff member unit costs, you have the top-up allowance for a month of secondment, and this sum is €2,000 per 1 month of secondment. So if you second your employee for 2 months, then this person is entitled to receive €4,000. If it's less, then it's also pro rata. And again, you have also some money for the research, training, and networking activities. When it comes to the financing of third partners' participation in the project, the secondments are not eligible for funding within this project. But whenever you participate in some networking or some, I don't know, summer schools, some conferences, you can request the funding from the beneficiaries, from the European partners, from these two categories. What are the opportunities for you if you come from the third country? You can become a project partner and take part in the active part in the research and innovation activities. You can also host researchers from Europe and second your own staff to Europe with EC funding if you are coming from the third country eligible for funding from Horizon 2020. You can also be involved in project management bodies, and in order to make the project go smoothly, it is recommended to sign the partnerships agreement with the beneficiaries, which will also include the stipulation when it comes to budget transfer. And the last section I would like to talk about is the co-fund, so co-funding of regional, national, and international programs. The budget is similar to the RISE project, so €80 million per this year call. And the call will be published on April 5th, with a deadline on September 28th. The objective of the co-fund is to stimulate regional, national, and international programs, and also to strengthen international, intersectoral, and interdisciplinary research training. These actions can be implemented within two different schemes. First is the doctoral programs for early stage researchers, or the fellowship programs for experienced researchers. And again, similarly to ITN projects, it's not the researchers who apply directly to the European Commission. They are the institution who prepare the fellowship programs, apply for the European Commission, and after receiving funding, they recruit the researchers. So the researchers apply directly to the ongoing projects. When it comes to the impact, it is basically to strengthen the supporting programs for the researchers. And where to find the offers within co-fund projects, you have to find the offers in the databases, and one of such databases is the Euraccess portal. So you have to visit the Euraccess website, go for jobs and funding, and look for the job offers within Maria Skłodowska-Curie actions. And then you have to contact the host institution and to provide all the requested documents and information that they require. And again, to sum up, what are the opportunities for researchers in ongoing projects? As for the early stage researchers, the innovative training networks and the co-fund doctoral programs. And just a short reminder, you do not apply to the European Commission, you apply to the ongoing projects. And as for experienced researcher, it's either the individual fellowship or the co-fund fellowships. And here the different forms of application: individual fellowships with the direct application to the European Commission, and the co-fund application with the application to the ongoing fellowship projects. Thank you for your attention. Now I would like to give floor to my colleague Monika Zaremba, who will tell you a little bit about the Euraccess.
Good morning, everyone. Here is Monika Zaremba. So let me start the last part of our today's meeting, which is related to the European Euraccess Network, a European initiative that supports mobile researchers, meaning people who move within countries or come to Europe to conduct their research. I hope maybe some of you are already familiar with this initiative, so more or less you know what you can expect. But I will tell you the most relevant and most important things related to international mobility and how you as mobile researchers can use the support of the Euraccess network. First of all, what is hidden under the Euraccess label is the Europe-wide database with jobs and funding opportunities. And it's the most central European source of such information, of jobs for researchers, funding, grants, fellowships, collaboration offers, or any other vacancies related to research in Europe. So the database that is available under the following address includes hundreds of jobs for researchers, not only jobs posted by universities, research institutes, but also companies, big ones or small and medium enterprises, anything that is available when it comes to conducting research. Also, what you can find in this database are European funded job offers related to the program of Marii Skłodowska-Curie Actions that was mentioned within this meeting, or jobs within the European Research Council grants, which are very, very famous in Europe. You can also find a CV database, which means for you that you can open your profile, you can register and set up, post your CV as a researcher, which will be available to the employers within throughout Europe. The jobs and funding opportunities are not restricted to any research disciplines or career stages. You can find all the fields and all the career stages in the database. When you find funding, when you decide to move abroad to another European country, or if you are outside Europe and you decide you want to come to Europe, to the European Union, you can use also the Euraccess network in reference to any everyday issues such as visas, work permits, residence permits. You can ask about social security issues in Europe, about taxation in different countries, or if you need information how to find accommodation, or anything that is actually related to your move to Europe or move within the European Union. So if you are coming to Poland, or if you are going to Spain or Germany or Latvia or any country that is partner within the Euraccess network, you can contact the nearest Euraccess center to find more information about the following issues that are related to your relocation to another country. These are very practical things. You can not only receive information, but also you can receive practical assistance, like with filling documents, or translation, or going to different offices, filling in formalities. So I think this is very useful when it comes to moving, to crossing borders. This is to show you the website, the Euraccess website, the central one. This is the European portal. And the portal, like I mentioned before, when you can see on the blue bar in the menu, it includes the jobs and funding database, then the partnering section, where you can find all possible collaboration offers when you are looking for partners for your Marii Skłodowska-Curie project, for example, or any other international project. You will find it here. If you need information and assistance on visas, social security, taxation, and so on, you can go to the information assistance tab, or you can simply create your account. You can log in, register, and receive all the information to your email, or use the search for vacancies, jobs, and funding, which is available, of course, for free. So this is the European portal. And just to show you, because each country which is member of the network has its own national portal as well. And this is our Polish Euraccess portal, which looks very, very similar, as you can see. And it includes similar information, but related to your research stay in Poland. You can also access your account. You can log in, register, and look for jobs and funding, not only in Poland, but in Europe in general. You can see there is the description of the research in Poland, the research landscape, funding institutions, and so on. And you can, of course, find contact details to our Polish Euraccess centers. Currently there are 10 Euraccess centers in Poland, which will give you information you need when moving into our country. Here is my contact details. If you have any more questions, you can always contact me. I'm Monika Zaremba. Here is my email and phone number. So if you need more information or if you have questions how to use the funding database, you can feel free to contact me. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thanks everyone for your attention. We still have a couple of minutes to 11. So if you would have any questions, please type them. Use the chat facility, and we will answer aloud using our microphones, not only writing. We can use the time left to talk to you or to give you some answers if you have any comments. The video from this meeting, from this webinar, will be available at the project website. So anytime next week you can go to the website and see it or download it from the website. This is the project website, the address, and you can see in the chat, so you can easily go them. And if you would need any information after the webinar, if you don't want to ask any questions or you don't have any questions at the moment, you can of course contact us later on. You have all our contact details. Ania Wiśniewska and Monika Zaremba can give you some answers concerning your access, and concerning Marii Skłodowska key reactions, there is us, Magda Chomicka, Adam Głuszuk, Anna Wiśniewska, and Bogdan Chrynishin. There's 4 of us, so anytime we are available for you.